Hi there! Welcome to What is Islam Academy. Let's learn about Islam together.
Is belief in God enough for salvation, or is there something more? This question marks a major difference between mainstream Christianity and Islam. For many Christians, faith alone means salvation comes solely through belief in Jesus, regardless of deeds. Islam, however, sees faith and action as inseparable. The Qur'an and Bible both offer detailed guidance, suggesting our actions matter deeply. In Islam, faith is the foundation, but it must manifest in righteous deeds. A faith that doesn't inspire action is incomplete. Islam presents faith and deeds as two sides of the same coin, mutually reinforcing, not in opposition. As we continue, we'll see how this balanced approach is rooted in the Qur'an, the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, and even echoes in the words of Jesus. Islam beautifully illustrates faith and deeds as a tree. Faith is the root, good deeds are the fruit. The Qur'an says, "A good word is like a good tree whose root is firm and branches reach the sky. It gives its fruit at all times by its Lord's permission." This analogy shows that true faith naturally produces righteous action. The Qur'an repeatedly pairs belief with good deeds, making their connection undeniable. Jesus too taught, "You will know them by their fruits. Every good tree bears good fruit." Both traditions warn against claiming faith without action. "O you who believe, why do you say what you do not do?" Faith is the starting point, but the journey is to translate it into worship, kindness, and justice. The quality of our deeds proves the sincerity of our faith. Martin Luther's doctrine of faith alone was a response to abuses in the medieval church, emphasizing God's grace over human works. Yet when we look at Jesus' teachings, we find a call not just to believe, but to act. "Not everyone who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father." Matthew 7:21. Jesus stressed that righteousness and obedience are essential, not just verbal faith. He taught that the wise build on the rock by doing his words, not just hearing them. The Islamic perspective aligns with this. Salvation is a holistic path of faith and righteous action. The foundation is belief, but the structure is built by deeds. If faith alone were enough, why would God send detailed scriptures and prophets to guide our actions? The Torah, Gospel, and Qur'an are filled with commandments, evidence that our choices matter. Prophets didn't just call for belief, they modeled and taught righteous living. The Qur'an describes Judgment Day as a weighing of deeds, even as small as a mustard seed. Qur'an 21:47. If actions were irrelevant, why would they be recorded and judged? Divine commandments, prophetic examples, and the concept of accountability all point to the importance of deeds. Ignoring righteous action is like accepting the root of a tree but rejecting its fruit. Faith is the foundation. Deeds build the life worthy of God's reward. Islam offers a balanced path. Faith saves from disbelief, deeds prove faith, but entry to paradise is ultimately by Allah's mercy. Prophet Muhammad taught that faith is the prerequisite for deeds to be accepted, and that faith has many branches, from the core testimony to simple acts of kindness. Yet he warned, "None of you will enter paradise by his deeds alone, not even me, unless Allah envelops me in his mercy." This teaches humility. Our deeds are always imperfect, but God's mercy is boundless. The believer lives between hope in God's mercy and fear of his justice, striving to do good while relying on divine grace. This balance motivates continuous effort without arrogance or despair. Faith is the foundation, deeds are the proof, and God's mercy is the ultimate key. Paul is often seen as the champion of faith alone, but his letters reveal a call to active, obedient faith. He warns that those who persist in sinful deeds will not inherit the kingdom of God. Galatians 5:21. Paul likens the spiritual life to a race, requiring discipline and striving. "I discipline my body, lest after preaching to others I myself should be disqualified." He urges believers to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Philippians 2:12. Paul's message is not passive belief, but faith that transforms and demands effort. This aligns with Islam's view. Faith must be coupled with righteous striving. Both traditions teach that faith and action go hand in hand. In Islam, true faith is a life-changing force that must manifest in action. Belief in God leads to God consciousness, guiding every choice. The Qur'an describes the righteous as those who give to the needy purely for God's sake, expecting no reward but his pleasure. Faith transforms character. The greedy become generous, the angry become patient, the arrogant become humble. Real faith impacts not just our relationship with God, but with all of creation. The true test of faith is whether it changes who we are and how we treat others. When faith inspires tangible good, it becomes a living testament to its truth. Imagine a courtroom. A person claims to respect the law, but the judge examines their actions for proof. On Judgment Day, Allah is the ultimate judge. Our faith is our testimony, but our deeds are the evidence. The Qur'an says our own limbs will bear witness to what we do. Divine justice weighs both intention and action, faith and deed with perfect equity. Islam's emphasis on deeds isn't legalism. It's about personal responsibility and true justice. Our choices have consequences. We must align actions with beliefs. We prepare for the ultimate court by building a strong case, faith supported by righteous deeds. Our faith is our plea. Our deeds make that plea credible. Islam's message is one of balance, integrating heart, mind, and action in submission to God. Salvation isn't in empty faith or arrogant deeds, but in sincere belief, consistent action, and hope in God's mercy. Even the smallest good deed done sincerely holds immense value. The Prophet taught, faith is what settles in the heart and is verified by action. This is not a burden but a mercy, a way to express love and gratitude to God. By focusing on shared principles of active faith, Muslims and Christians can find common ground and build bridges. Let us strive to live faith that brings light and goodness to the world, seeking God's pleasure through both belief and action.